Hi there everyone, this is a live streamed virtual tour. You will hear me inter-chatting with people on the tour. If you are not watching this live, I am not talking to myself. I'm interacting with the people who are watching live on the tour. And of course, if you're not watching this live, you will not be able to see the chat. So don't worry about me, I am not insane and talking to myself. It's just me. Hello Barbie, say hello everyone, it's there. If you say hello, it makes it easier for me to see everyone who has joined my tour. How's life, Barbie? As you can see, no sun today. It's not cold. It's about 12, 13, 50 Fahrenheit, something like that. Hi, Christopher. Hello, Anne. Kerry. How's life, everyone? Diane Conway. Hey, hello, Diane. How's life? And where about in England are you? I'm assuming you're in England. Hey Diane, how's it going? Sarah, how's life? So you can see the grey skies, they're here. It's not raining, it's not forecast to rain, however, as we all know, everyone who's done any tours in Edinburgh, they lie to us on a regular basis, the swines. So I just wanted to show you this. I come across this, I was just walking around the corner, I was doing a tour this morning. Hey Donna, Michelle. Woohoo! Nice to see you, Donna, as well. Thank you very much for joining my tour, everyone. Yeah, we're in the south side area of Edinburgh now. This is pretty much a student area. Universities, a lot of university buildings are just over here, just around here. So this is all university students. It's called the south side, Nicholson Square. Lots of Chinese, Japanese, sushi bars, so on. Donna. Beth, hey Beth. Thank you everyone for joining my tour, but yeah, I just thought I would show you this, found this. See the ghost signage, it says, I think it says wholesale importer and manufacturer of baskets. Foreign baskets? Something else. Fancy leather goods and walking sticks. Quite random things to sell. Walking sticks, hardware and woodenware. Hello Christina, how are you doing? Suzanne, hey Suzanne. How's life? Thank you very much for joining my tour of Edinburgh today. I was doing a coach tour and a castle tour of Edinburgh this morning for a coach company. I have one tomorrow morning as well and one on the 7th. But that's my work almost stopped now for the year. So I finished the tour earlier on. I just came for a little walk. I was trying to find somewhere to eat that wasn't full of tourists. I ended up with a cafe around the corner. But this shop here, this used to be the best Indian shop in Edinburgh, Kebab Mahal. I'm not sure if it still is, but it used to be the best Indian shop in Edinburgh. And you can tell it's a very good shop because you see a lot of the local older Indian guys sitting there having dinner, or Pakistani guys, Bangladeshi, whatever they are. Kebab Mahal. Well, I've not been for years, but it used to be the best in Edinburgh. Whacking sticks. I like that, and whacking sticks. Yeah, I could do a few of them to get people out my way on the Hey Go tours before. Remember when all the people were standing about in front of me trying to get postcards? I could do with a walking stick at that point and just start whacking them on the head. Korean munchies. Yeah, there's loads of, sushi bars, ramen. We've got a lot of Asian students in Edinburgh, of course. A lot of postgrads, international students come to Edinburgh. We have free education, of course, in Scotland, which makes us and Ireland the two most educated countries in the whole of Europe, because we have free education. But look at this beautiful building here, once this van moves. This is Surgeons Hall Museum. Beautiful, isn't it? Designed by William Playfair, architect, a very famous architect in Edinburgh. Helped to design a lot of the Newtown buildings as well. See, very Greek, Doric, neoclassical architecture. Finished in 1832. Hello Sarah, how are you doing? What time is it over there? You must be late at night, is it? 11 o'clock, something like that? Yeah, beautiful building. It's a Surgeons Hall Museum. It's all like the pathology. You know when you used to keep stuff in jars, specimens in jars and all that. Edinburgh was one of 5 centres of anatomical science throughout Europe. There's over 500 medical students here in Edinburgh. And of course every one of them had to dissect a body, which led to serial killers called Burke in here, mass murdering 16 people. They led to the resurrectionists, the body snatchers, and of course you can see the skeleton over there. Famously, Burke is kept in the Anatomical Museum in Edinburgh is where Burke is kept. He was publicly dissected. We've got the Festival Theatre here in Edinburgh. This is where any Americans or people who have been to see Hamilton the musical was here in the Festival Theatre earlier on this year. Excuse me. So it's a Sunday today. So guess what doesn't happen on a Sunday? Can anyone remember? The thing that goes off at 2:20. What doesn't go off today? The 1 o'clock gun, 8:35. That's not too bad. That's where J.K. Rowling wrote a lot of the Harry Potter books up there. That cafe, it was called Nicholson's. Her brother-in-law owned it. Of course, Edinburgh is the home of the so-called home of Harry Potter. Here in Edinburgh. The centre of Edinburgh is just down there. The bridges, the new town, just down there, straight ahead. But I was out doing a couple of tours. Nice art shop, look at that. Nice little laugh. With 2 Y's. Oh, it's usually 3 Y owls, is it not? 2 owls. So a gift art shop or something like that. Cranes. It's all this AI paintings they're doing. I'm not saying they're the AI, but you get a lot of artificial intelligence paintings now. They look horrendous. Scottish puffins, of course. Beautiful puffins. But yeah, I've been out and about in Edinburgh a couple of times, and hopefully the signal will stay with us by the way, because I don't know how the signal's going to be. I've been struggling to do any virtual tours this year because in Edinburgh you just can't get a signal because there's too many people. Sometimes you can't even send a WhatsApp message because there's so many people in Edinburgh. It's because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They're not allowed to have many masts. A lot of places, so we've got a lack of masts, especially 5G. The 5G coverage is not very good for a capital city, but it's because it's UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's hard to get permission for the masts. So hopefully, I'm going to walk up towards the Royal Mile. So hopefully hopefully the signal will hold out. It's November now, so. But saying that, Edinburgh's still busy. The castle sold out again today. Edinburgh Castle sold out. I was there this morning at 10 o'clock. Quite good. This is where Harry Potter tour guys bring their tours. This is supposed to be the tunnel from Half-Blood Prince. Allegedly. Potter Row, coincidentally it's called. It's just a lie by these goddamn Harry Potter tour guides. But look at what I spotted on the way down here this morning. It's here. I don't know if you can see it. Darwin. This is where Darwin lived when he came to Edinburgh. He studied medicine at Edinburgh University for a couple of years, 1825. And this is where he lived, Charles Darwin. The author of The Origin of Species, of course. He lived from 1809 to 1882 and he lodged right here whilst he was studying medicine in 1825 to 1827. That was something that did the theory of evolution, wasn't it? Because EM equals MC squared. That was Einstein. But Charles Dickens came to Edinburgh a few times to attend university as well. Charles Dickens. So look, bagpiper. Oh, there must be something on today, look. Lovely jubbly. I was going to say that's not the Royal Stuart tartan, that doesn't look like the Royal Stuart tartan. Paul, will he be going back from that? Yes, it's still covered in scaffolding. Hi Don, how's life? Just had a bit of random bagpipe playing there. This Usher Hall here, this beautiful building. This is where the university students get their graduations here now. Yes, just all some of the Potter Row, Edinburgh University buildings everywhere around Edinburgh. They're quite a big property owner, Edinburgh University. We've got 6 universities in Edinburgh actually, 6 universities. Nice bars, Brazilian bar. Probably plays that reggaeton. Any reggaeton fans here? I used to like reggaeton when I lived in Spain. Reggaeton became very popular in Spain. Look like Roddy. Reception is perfect just now. That's good then. That's good that the reception's good. I don't know how it'll hold out. But yeah, I found something quite interesting the other day. I just spotted it. You know what it's like in Edinburgh sometimes if you look down, look up. You know, you'll see things that you perhaps never saw. This is the old Bedlam up here, the old asylum. We called it lunatic asylums up here. This is just heading down towards Greyfriars Bobby's. It's a pity we've not got the map. Remember, that was quite a good thing that Hago had, wasn't it? Remember the map? You could see where you were. Well, people watching could see where you were, which was quite good. This old Adventist church. Quite unusual with the red sandstone here. Hey, Beck! Well, most of the buildings in Edinburgh are yellow, blonde sandstone, but they ran out. So they had to start importing the red sandstone. This came from the west coast of Scotland. It's the old Adventist church. That used to be the Bedlam. Was up here as well, where Scotland's worst, not Scotland's poet, Robert Ferguson died. So yeah, we're heading down to the museum, past the museum in Greyfriars Bobby, the world's most famous homeless dog, which is a pile of nonsense. Anyway, it's a different story. But yeah, where is it? Over here. Look at what I found. And I've never seen this before. So I'm saying, sometimes in Edinburgh you just have to look up or look down and you'll see things that you've never noticed before. And this was a thing I didn't know, I only saw the other day. What's this woman doing standing here like this, man? So look. Hi, Lynn. So this section of stonework and the strip of setts on the pavement marked the line of the 16th century Flodden Wall. So that was in 1513 when Scotland invaded England on behalf of the French. Up to 40,000 Scots invaded England. The battle took place just over the border in a place called Flodden. But as you can see here, it was a disastrous battle. A third of the Scots got killed, including King James IV and most of the nobility. But look here. So look on the ground, these sets, these cobble sets here, they represent the outlines of the city walls. So the city wall came down from the castle, up through the Greyfriars graveyard and up along here. Edinburgh was only 0.2 square miles after this. It became a fully enclosed walled city in 1513. So I just noticed this the other day. I must have walked past this thousands of times. And this is what these sets here represent, and they go right across here as well, you can see them there. So this represents the old Flodden Wall. Cracks started to come down from 1767 onwards because the rich and the poor had to live together in the old town and conditions were horrendous. There was up to 80,000 people living there, and so the rich were quite keen to move out. Edinburgh was known as the worst city in the whole of Europe actually, architecturally, and the conditions, you know, you were lucky to live past 40. And so in 1767, that's when the new town was built. And this is the National Museum. This is an extension to the National Museum. Lovely restaurant up here, by the way, if you're coming to Edinburgh. Lovely restaurant. So that's us on Candle Makers Row. Can you guess what they used to make here on Candle Maker Row? So there's Greyfriars Bobby, the bar. And of course here's the statue of the little mutt. It must be one of the world's most photographed statues of dogs. It's Edinburgh's smallest Grade A listed monument, and you see how the person's rubbing the nose of the dog. That was some idiot tour guide, and it wasn't me. I'm an idiot, but I'm not a idiot tour guide in that sense. As some tour guide told the tour group that it was good luck to rub the dog's nose. So people come from all over the world to rub the poor dog's nose, and Bobby has to get taken away and repaired every couple of years because look, his nose is all shiny and damaged. Some of the locals don't like you rubbing his little nose. I don't care. There he is there, look. Greyfriars Bobby. Hello, Bobby. You see his face is all shiny, look. His nose. So every couple of years, poor Bobby has to go away and get repaired. So yeah, so it's a shame some idiot tour guide. His gravestone is in the graveyard in here, behind the bar. He's not buried in the graveyard, of course. Dogs are not allowed to be buried in the graveyard, but he has got a gravestone in the graveyard. And that's... The story goes that Bobby was 2, his master was Old Jock, a policeman, and when Bobby was 2, Old Jock, the policeman, died, and he's buried in that graveyard, allegedly. And Bobby went to the funeral. He didn't know what was going on, so he just sat in his master's grave for 14 years. Only leaving once a day when a 1 o'clock gun went off. But guess what happens on a Sunday? The 1 o'clock gun doesn't go off. So what did Bobby do to get fed on a Sunday? You've eaten there years ago, Greyfriars Bobby. I used to drink in there years ago, so that's the National Museum extension there. Open till 5 o'clock every day. If you're coming to Scotland, Edinburgh has got the National Museum, we've got the Modern Art Gallery, we've got the National Portrait Gallery, the National Art Galleries are here, and they're all free.
Did a bot design this?
Oh look man, that's how I looked this morning when I woke up. I had a few beers last night, I was like, in fact there is the main man himself, Frankenstein. They've just filmed part of the movie in Edinburgh this year on Netflix. So I'm assuming it's going to be on next year on Netflix, the new Frankenstein movie, so watch out for that. They were in Edinburgh for a few weeks, filmed in Frankenstein. Another church there, St Augustine's. There's church, see it's all black and soot stained. Edinburgh's got 2 nicknames. The Athens of the North, because the Scots invented the modern world and the Greeks invented the ancient world. Did you all know that, yeah, that Scotland invented the modern world? Yes, you all know that already, don't you? Television, telephone, radar, penicillin, tarmac, chloroform, radar, colour photography. The unit of electricity is named after what? Herman Munster. So yes, Scotland invented the modern world. So our nickname is the Athens of the North. Got lots of Greek monuments as well. But here we go here, see here, the birthplace of Harry Potter, look. But they're lying to you, it's not the birthplace at all. Because if you look closely at the birthplace of Harry Potter, it's in inverted commas, isn't it? And that means they're lying. It's not the birthplace of Harry Potter at all. She did write a couple of the books in there. You see it's got a plaque outside. Made famous as a place of inspiration to writers such as J.K. Rowling, who sat and writing much of her early novels in the back room overlooking the castle. Also Ian Rankin of Rebus and Alexander McCall Smith. Many other writers have been inspired to write in there as well. Very famous place, and she used to sit at the back window and overlook the graveyard over there. That's what I was going to say, yeah, and the second nickname we have is Auld Reekie, because of the black soot stained buildings. So the buildings are all black, soot stained. So our second nickname is Auld Reekie, which translates as Old Smoky, because of all the pollution from the chimney smoke and so on. And that's why some of the buildings are still black, soot stained. They did try to clean the buildings, as you can see. There is cleaner bits on it, but what they realised was it was causing more damage. So they stopped doing it. So yes, the Athens of the North and Auld Reekie are our two nicknames. And that's a graveyard where Greyfriars Bobby is master's buried allegedly. In there's at least 500,000 bodies in that graveyard. There's bodies piled on top of each other, big pits were dug and just bodies, hundreds of bodies were just flung in big pits when the Great Plague hit Edinburgh in 1645. 60% of Edinburgh got killed by the plague because it was a completely walled in city. But look at all this ghost signage again, look. Ancient Order of the Foresters, something else, Heart of Midlothian, something Institute of Scotland, Scottish Reformation Society, Scottish Women's Union or something, I can't see what it says, Protestant something. Cafe, hello Cafe, how's life? I've started to do virtual tours again, just to got all this ghost signage up here on the doors. I like it when they expose all that stuff, quite interesting to see. But yeah, hopefully I'll have more chance now to do more virtual tours in the winter and there's less people here, so I can possibly come back into Edinburgh. As I mentioned earlier, I've not been able, sometimes you come into Edinburgh and you can't even get connected to WhatsApp to send a message. It's just how many people it is. They need to up their game. Look. Hope we'll do the Christmas market. Yeah, I'll do the... Again, well, the Christmas market might be a difficult one because there's so many people go to it. The opening weekend of the Christmas market last year, 200,000 people went. Can you imagine that? 200,000 people went to the opening weekend of the Christmas market. It gets voted #1 in Europe, actually. So Edinburgh is the most haunted city in the whole of Europe. And you know how they determine that? It's by the number of ghost tours there are. So Edinburgh has more ghost tours than any other city in Europe. So that makes us the most haunted city in the whole of Europe. Kerry, you went on that tour, didn't you? You said it was good. So I had somebody came to Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago and they went on this tour and they said it was really good, but I've never done it myself. I did contact them during Hago actually. I contacted them to ask if I could do a virtual tour from the bus and they never got back in touch with me. So I did try to do a ghost bus tour to the National Library of Scotland, Art Deco, 1930s type of architecture. I'll try and do a tour of the market. I'll take you down to it just now to see what they've done so far. In fact, what I might do is I might just cut down the mound actually, save going to the Royal Mile. Yeah, because you've got the Edinburgh Castle, the Castle of Light thing coming up as well, and there's also the Christmas lights at the Botanical Gardens coming up as well, so I might have to do a pre-recorded and do from home. Oh, you're joking, somebody's vandalised that picture, man. Idiots. This is Victoria Street, lovely little street here. In fact, I usually have problems with the signal around here. I was going to go down there, but I've had problems with signals down there before, so I might just give that a miss. Oh, look at this, man. The buggers, the graffiti artists have vandalised them, man. That was terrible. Swines. Used to get good postcard shots from it. Just get on and you're actually on the street. Okay, we're going into the danger zone now. This is where the signal usually goes bad. So let's see. How we got on. I'm actually walking along a bridge here called George IV Bridge. Hey Barbie, that's your hotel. The newest building on the Royal Mile, and they messed up the construction of it. It's been under scaffolding for about 5 years. It'd only been open for about 10 years. And then they messed up the construction. And it's been covered in scaffolding for probably 5 years now. Before COVID anyway. Look, it's embarrassing for the developers or the construction people who made that. As I say, it'd only been open about 10 years. It's a hotel, Radisson Collection. Beautiful hotel actually. Really good breakfast as well if you're coming to Edinburgh. The Radissons are a good hotel to stay at. You've got Radisson Blue in Edinburgh, Radisson Collection. We haven't got a Radisson Red here. Glasgow's got a Radisson Red. You've got a Radisson Blue. But yeah, Radissons do an excellent breakfast actually. Oh, such an excellent choice. Yeah, the council has asked for an explanation. Yeah, because, well, for the first 4 years, they blocked off access for pedestrians. They've now put access for pedestrians in, but yeah, it's a pain in the bum. So that's us on the Royal Mile. You see the brass plaques? That was the site of the last execution site. 1864. So you can see it's November and Edinburgh's still quite busy. I don't know what tune that is. I think I've heard it before, but I've no idea what it is. It's a classic shot of Edinburgh here. David Hume, this guy on the statue here. No tour of mine will be complete without an ambulance on it. Always an ambulance on my bloody tours. St Giles Cathedral in the background, of course. The spire is supposed to represent the Scottish crown. It's not originally got burnt down in 1824. With a 3-day fire in Edinburgh in 1824, it destroyed a third of the old town. Is the signal still okay? They're saying it's still okay here. Ah, it's in Giles open. Let's see if it's open. It looks like they're just queuing up to get in the cathedral now. This is Parliament Square. This is where the Scottish Parliament used to be before. Signal is good, that's good. Before 1707, this is where the Scottish Parliament was. That's the cathedral open. Do you want to go inside the cathedral? Yes or no? Do you want to see inside St Giles Cathedral? Remember, I put the Christmas decorations on John Knox last year. I think that was the last time I'd done a tour inside there. I put Christmas decorations on John Knox. Look at the queue going in. It gets over 1 million visitors a year. Look at the queue. Okay, let's go in then. Let's try and go in once this queue goes down a little bit. I'm scared to go in places in case I lose the signal. That's the problem, you see. So there's the French Institute and Consulate here. Lovely building. Frenchies make a good building. Like the Americans always have their consulates in the grandest places, the French and the Americans. Well, I'm hoping that St Giles, by the way, is the patron saint of Edinburgh and the patron saint of lepers as well. They close the cathedral on a Sunday morning because they have a service on Sunday mornings, so that's why it gets closed off. It used to be a Catholic church, of course. It's been a church here for over 900 years actually. There's Daniel, the tour guide. Come on, hurry up and go down queue. I'll tell you about the Heart of Midlothian whilst we're waiting then. Once this queue. So this area here, do you see the Heart of Midlothian here? This is the only place in Edinburgh where you are allowed to spit. In fact, you are encouraged to spit upon it. especially if you support one of the two soccer teams called Hibernian, because Edinburgh has got two football teams, two soccer teams. One's called the Hibernian, green and white team. Another one is Heart of Midlothian, and this is their club badge. So this used to be where the condemned prisoners were kept in the cells before they were going to get executed. And as the prisoners came out to get hung, they would spit on the prisoners. They would also spit there because it was a place where you paid tax, and it was also people would spit on the doors because of the conditions the prisoners were kept in. Obviously there was a prison here which has now been demolished and long gone. So when the prison was taken away, they put this Heart of Midlothian up, and it became a tradition to spit upon it because of the reasons I just said. But people who support Hibernian might spit on it for completely different reasons, like I do. So if Hibs are playing Hearts and Hearts beat Hibs, I come up and spit in it. Look at all the kings and queens carved into the buildings up here. Queen Margaret, Queen Mary's not in here. All the figures, these are all little kings and queens. Look how long it's taken for this queue to go down, man. This is ridiculous. What are they doing? Hurry up and get in. Bloody pains in the butt, man. Hurry up. By the way, I forgot to charge up the phone before I came out. I've only got 20% power left, but it's quite a new iPhone, so it should last. Yeah, this is a Protestant church now, Presbyterian. So even though it's called St Giles Cathedral, it's not an actual cathedral, because under canon law, of course, a cathedral is supposed to have bishops, but Presbyterians do not have bishops. No, that's just the bagpipes, Susan, I think. Sounds like an ambulance. Yeah, they actually had to build 14 stories high here. They reckon round about here, most of the old town got demolished, by the way. So, but in the 1500s, they had to build up higher and higher because of the city walls. They reckon they built 14 stories tall round about here. 14 stories in the 1500s. Can you imagine how scary that would have been? The rich and the poor had to live together, and there was no running water or sanitation for quite a long time. So at 10 o'clock every night, to dispose of the toilet waste, they just threw it out of the window. They would give you a warning in French. They would shout out, "Gardez-le! Gardez-le!" And that's where the term loo comes from, for toilet. And now if you were walking past and you heard somebody shouting, "Gardez-le!" you'd be like that, "Hold on a minute." Because if you were not quick enough to get out of the way, whoosh, you got covered. And that's where the saying shit-faced came from. Because it was usually drunk people that got caught. So the next time you see somebody really drunk, you can say, "Hey, you're shit-faced, mate." And you can tell them the origins of shit-faced. And because the rich and the poor had to live together, the rich didn't want to live up the top of the properties because the buildings would collapse. They didn't want to live in the bottom because the poo could splash back as high as 2 stories. So the rich people lived in the middle sections, and that's where the term middle class came from. I'm full of completely useless information, by the way. If you like useless information, I am the perfect tour guide for you. Right, so let's see if we can go into the cathedral now. That's right. Beautiful cathedral, founded in 1124, 900 years. Originally a Catholic church, then it became a Protestant church in 1560 because of John Knox, the leader of the Reformation, the original Grinch, the man who stole Christmas. He banned Christmas for 400 years. When he led the Reformation, he said Christmas was too popish, too Catholic. So Christmas was banned until 1958 in Scotland, believe it or not. All the beautiful stained glass windows There's no original windows, of course, stained glass windows, because the Protestants destroyed all the windows in the Reformation, destroyed all the statues, anything idolatry or Catholic was destroyed. But this section of the church is actually called the Writer's Corner here. Some of you might recognise this man here. Anyone recognise this man? Very famous author, I'll say. Wrote a good very few famous books. So that is Robert Louis Stevenson. So James Young Simpson, ladies, you can thank this man if you took pain relief during childbirth. And lucky, Robert Burns, it's Robert Louis Stevenson. Kidnapped, Treasure Island, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, so any ladies who have taken pain relief during childbirth, you can thank James Young Simpson here. There's one lady up there, Margaret Oliphant. At least we've got one author up, lady author, female author. I don't know too much about her actually, Margaret Oliphant. 19th century lady, of course. And Robert Ferguson, the poet, died when he was 24. Lovely stained glass windows. You see here, this is a couple of important parts of Scottish history. If you can see it, you can't really see it very well. The stained glass windows, they became popularised in the 1800s again, after the Protestants destroyed them all. So this, you can't really see it, the light's shining through, but this is John Knox preaching here, on this one at the bottom. And the one at the top is when Mary Queen of Scots' half-brother, James, got assassinated in Linlithgow. One of Mary Queen of Scots' supporters assassinated him with a gun. He was the regent of Scotland at the time, and he was the first ruler to be assassinated by gun. And from there. So I'll need to come back and do my annual tradition of putting Christmas decorations on John Knox. This is Jenny Geddes' stool here. How's the signal, by the way? Is the signal maintaining up okay in here? Yeah, this is the stool that's allegedly led to the English Civil War. Charles I had attempted to draw the Scottish church into an English church. They were Anglican, and he tried to introduce the Anglican prayer book to Scotland, and this lady called Jenny Geddes was at the service, and when the minister started reading the new prayer book, she ran up and threw her stool at him. Allegedly, there's no actual evidence that happened, but that led to riots breaking out across Scotland and England, and that led to the outbreak of the English Civil War, as it's called. But it wasn't the English Civil War, it was the War of Three Kingdoms. But look here, I was in here the other day there, look at all the writing on the walls by the stonemasons. You see it? Look at all the markings on the wall from the stonemasons over the years. Signal is good, that's good. Yeah, look here as well, it's like the Scotland flag. Yeah, this is the part from the original church here as well. A lot of the church got burnt down, of course. That's the old seal of Edinburgh, I think. That is. But yeah, look at another one. Look at another one there. See it? Can you see it? Yeah, look. Oh, it's amazing what you see in things and places, you know, you just never know what you're going to come across. As I say, sometimes you can have walked past something thousands of occasions, and then you just suddenly notice something. So lovely cathedral, that's all the flags for different regiments who look after the Queen and so on. Lots of different flags. And here, the Order of the Thistle will be closed, yeah, that's closed today. Lovely stained glass windows now. When the Reformation happened, the Protestants destroyed all the stained glass windows in Edinburgh, with the exception of one building. So there's only one building in Edinburgh that has stained glass windows pre-Reformation. And guess who owns the building? The Scottish Reformation Society. They kept their own stained glass windows for themselves. So look at that beautiful window, just tales of biblical tales as well. Usually they used to tell the stories of the Bibles. Lynn, you'll have been noticing that in Spain as well, all the very Catholic churches in Spain's a Catholic country, of course. And they have a lot of stained glass windows that tell you the stories of the Bible. So the priests and the ministers used to tell people the stories by looking at the stained glass windows, of course. Look at this, isn't this beautiful? Look at the ceiling as well. The old flag, the Union of the Crowns, the Unicorn and the Lion, 1603. Beautiful building. At one point there was 4 different churches in here. This is a Presbyterian, see that's quite unusual. They've got, I don't know if you can see, but that's Jesus getting crucified up there. In the Presbyterian church, when they have a cross, you know how the Catholics and the Episcopalians, the Anglicans, they have Jesus on the cross. The Presbyterians, they don't have Jesus on the cross, they always just have a plain cross, because the Protestants think that, you know, why should you have Jesus in a crucified position? Where Christ is risen. So they just look at it differently, the different theology. Catholics believe in transubstantiation as well. When they do the Mass, that the bread and wine becomes the blood and body of Jesus. It's called transubstantiation. And the Protestants, well, the Presbyterian Protestants, they just believe Jesus is present when you do the Mass, the communion service. It's a lovely organ, isn't it? Very impressive. Yeah, it's probably because there was a service on this morning, it might be more lit up. There's Jesus and the fishermen up there as well, just different tales from the Bible as well. Can't really see them too good, unfortunately. Here he is, the man himself, Scotland's most miserable man, the original Grinch, the man who stole Christmas, John Knox. This guy doing, man? There he is, old miserable bugger. Scotland's most miserable man. I'll be back soon to see you, John, for more Christmas decorations, baubles, tinsel. Might even put some Christmas lights on you if you're lucky. And here's the Saints window as well. And hopefully, I don't know if you can see this, St Margaret, St Giles, St David, St Andrew, St Columba. They're not getting very good images of the cathedral at the windows, but this is the Saints window, they call it. St Margaret is Scotland's royal saint, of course, Queen Margaret. She put the church more in line with the Church of Rome. Established a ferry for the pilgrims going to St Andrews. St Andrews never used to be called St Andrews. It only became called St Andrews after his relics were taken there by his followers. After St Andrews was crucified diagonally, some of his followers got his relics and they were told to take them to the ends of the earth. So they came to Scotland. And he wasn't our original, he's our patron saint, but he never used to be. St Columba was our patron saint, but he got relegated and put on the bench. He got bumped for St Andrew. So St Andrew's our patron saint. Unfortunately, during the Reformation, the Protestants destroyed a lot of the relics as well as the statues and stained glass windows. But we do have more relics of St Andrew in Edinburgh. You can see we've got more modern stained glass windows here as well. But yeah, it's a lovely church. It's free to come in. They look, because it's got 1 million people over a year, they ask for a donation of £6. Lovely building, isn't it? So even if you're not a religious person, you can still appreciate the architecture and the artwork and so on that has went into building this beautiful building. There was actually 4 churches in here at one point. Did I say that already? There used to be 4 different churches in here. When after Scotland turned to a Protestant country in 1560, the Episcopalians and the Presbyterians were fighting for control to become the established church in Scotland. And that led to another civil war in Scotland, of course, the Covenanters. And the Presbyterians won. Christianity is now dying out, of course, now. It just came back this year for the first time in this 10-year census that they do, that Scotland is no longer a majority Christian country. We're mostly secular now. So that's for the first time ever, actually. Yeah, but Glasgow Cathedral is very nice as well. But what annoys me is when the Protestants destroyed all the Catholic stuff, they destroyed all the tiles as well. Because we were like Holyrood Abbey as well. It was all covered in beautiful tiles, decorative tiles, and beautiful fabrics and artworks and all that, and all got destroyed. So when you see the photographs of the cathedral, how it used to, well, not photographs, sorry, but artists' images of how it used to look, it's so beautiful, because it looks quite bare, but yeah, it's a beautiful cathedral. The Glasgow Cathedral, the necropolis, another statue of John Knox there, of course, as well. Where the local tradition with the Glaswegian girls, did you just, Diane? I got told by a Glaswegian tour guide that it's a tradition that before girls reach the age of 18, that they have to go up and kick the statue of John Knox, because he was a very misogynistic person, was John Knox, of course. The Mercat Cross there, see the unicorn on the top? But we are very lucky to have a beautiful city like this. It's a very photogenic city, Edinburgh, isn't it? Even in the fog and the rain on the misty days, it's still a beautiful photographer's dream, actually. It's very popular for photographers to come here to Edinburgh. Of course, these bloody Instagrammers who do my head in. I never realised how much I hated Instagrammers until Hego happened, and then all the people started coming back, and all the people taking just Instagrammers going round from stop to stop, taking photographs and not appreciating what they're doing. So, yeah, out my way. But Edinburgh, as I was going to say, the sale in Edinburgh's still quite busy, isn't it? Even though it's November now, it's still busy, and then the Christmas market starts in a couple of weeks. So Edinburgh's really busy in December as well for the Christmas market, and especially at weekends as well. As I said earlier, the Christmas market gets voted #1 in Europe.
That's what I'm going to go down.
The Edinburgh Christmas market beats the Germans at their own game. Got more bagpipe players. No! Never heard that one. I got told that by a Glaswegian tour guide. It's a lovely, lovely city, of course, Edinburgh. Apart from these bloody security barriers they put up. See these barriers here? They put these up a few years ago for the terrorists. As a temporary measure, they told us. Oh, Highland Cathedral. That famous Scottish song that's actually German. Almost friendly. Old toll booth cup. The Tron, so that's a Tron cup. What am I talking about? Toll booth. The toll booth church was for that. That was a Tron cup church. Tron is a Scottish word for beam. There used to be a market there. In fact, there's still a market on inside the church now. It's really nice inside, actually. Yeah, they used to, as a punishment, they used to make you kneel on a stool and nail your ear to the wooden beam. And they would just leave you there all day until about 5 o'clock at night. And then they would come along and kick the stool away. And half your ear would get ripped off. And that's where the term ear mat came from. Lovely architecture here on Coburn Street. Coburn. Thanks for the tour, I've got to go. Ah, perfect. See you later, Sarah. Thanks for coming on the tour. Lovely architecture on the street, and all the Architecture's the same. It was all built at the same time from 1864. They cut this street through to connect the new town to the old town. So all the architecture is almost the same, which is quite unusual. In fact, there it's up there, look. You can see it, 1864. Yeah, if you could like this video on YouTube for me, please. And if you're not already subscribing, can you please subscribe to my YouTube channel? I also have sponsorship deals you can get. Buy me a coffee, you can pay as little as £5 a month or £10 a month to help sponsor me. And that way I can do more virtual tours and so on throughout the winter, hopefully. Look at that, my favourite Mexican restaurant's been turned into a sushi bar. Can you believe that? That used to be called Viva Mexico, remember? It's now been turned into a sushi bar. Devastated, man. Or a Hiroshima, a ramen bar. Is it ramen? I don't even know what ramen is. I've never been brave enough to try Japanese sushi. And I don't like the dumpling things. Was that Chinese? You know the dumplings they make? I don't like them. I don't like the texture. But yeah, look, you can see how the Edinburgh is built on top of an extinct volcano here. So on the Royal Mile, that might be 5 stories. But look how many stories that is at the back. About 12 or something like that. So because Edinburgh's on a crag and tail, they call it, the volcano, when the ice started to melt 13,500 years ago, glaciers moved the whole of Scotland. And so when the ice melted, that's when the whole of Scotland's geography and landscapes were created by the ending of the Ice Age. People never lived here then, of course. The oldest human settlement is about 13,500 years ago. Prior to that, nobody could live here because it was too cold. We were still connected to Europe at this point, of course. So when the ice started to melt, the Celtic tribes, mostly from around Portugal and Spain area, they moved to Scotland. Different tribes lived here. So yeah, Cramond, I've done a tour there before, Cramond in Edinburgh. I might go back down actually, because it's quite nice down there. They reckon that's one of the earliest human settlements in Edinburgh, in Scotland, is in Cramond. That's us now left the old town, and we're now stepping into the new town, as it's called. Hello Cheryl, yeah, you missed most of it. I'm almost coming to the end and I've only got 10% power on my phone. I forgot to charge up my phone this morning before I left the house, and I've been out in Edinburgh doing a tour this morning, and then so when I started the tour I only had 40 odd % in my tour, in my phone, power in my phone. So but I've been on the tour for nearly an hour now anyway, so that's quite handy. So that's us now. Yeah, I've not been to Cramond for ages. Same with Lauriston as well. Quite fancy doing Lauriston. You can see the big wheels getting put up now, so as you can tell the Christmas market's getting done. I'll show you what they've done so far. So I think it's open on the 15th of November. I think it's the 15th of November it opens, the Christmas market. So I'll go up and see what the signal's like. If I can do a tour, I'm not going up the opening weekend, but because the opening weekend there's just too many people there. So I'll not be going then. But yeah, after it's been open, I'll do it during the week as well actually, because Friday and Saturday and Sunday you just can't even get in, there's big queues to get in it. So yeah, I will do a tour of the Christmas market once it opens. We'll look at the castle here. Hello Jolene! You've come at the end of the tour, you and Cheryl. See the castle up there? The old Church of Scotland Assembly Hall, Edinburgh University, the Bank of Scotland, the Mount. I used to change the flags up there, that was one of my jobs. It's the Walter Scott Monument, of course, the Gothic rocket. Yeah, so if you're not already subscribing to my YouTube channel, can you please subscribe? And like the button, make a comment as well. Leave a comment, leave a review. Where can I leave a review? Yeah, you can leave a review on TripAdvisor if you want. Paul James Stewart Tours. That'd be good. You can one way to help me as well is to leave a review on TripAdvisor. That'll do me a favour. I've only got 33 reviews under my own name because most of my reviews are done for Invisible Cities. So, the clock's changed, that's right. So last weekend our clocks changed, and this weekend America and Canada's clocks changed as well, didn't they? Yeah, because I think there is a problem with Lynn's calendar or live stream events or something.